What's up guys, Houndish here, and today we're jumping in with a quick Destiny 2 news video. And this may not come as a surprise, but we're going to talk about bugs in this one, as well as some other bugs and a few glitches. I'm not sure what the difference is really, but there have been plenty of things breaking in the game over this past few days. So initially Bungie give us a heads up on one of them which is actually beneficial to players. On top of that though, we're going to touch on a couple of broken exotics. Bungie had to drop a hotfix to disable the Khepri's Horn, and they made an update to the Iron Banner. So we'll cover all of that stuff, and then we're going to talk about some future updates for Destiny 2 this year. Some of the big system changes, but also rumors about content this season, upcoming rewards, and a few other things in the video. So, as always guys, I hope you enjoy this one, and if you do, a rating below really does help us out on the channel. But without further delay, let's get into it. And firstly, we have a quick update from Bungie here, and the Destiny 2 team said that purchasing a Last Wish deep sight weapon from Hawthorne currently awards double progression towards pattern progress. This wasn't intended, and it will be fixed in a few weeks, but until then, go farm and consider this a bank error in your favor. And so if you are looking to craft weapons from Last Wish that have been updated this season, alongside the quest that Hawthorne has, those deep sight weapons are counting with extra progress. So it certainly will be quicker to farm those out now, while that error is still a thing. And let us know down below if you are working towards picking up any of the updated Last Wish weapons. More bugs right here though, and in the Iron Banner there was a problem where Khepri's Horn was breaking everything. I'm not even entirely sure how it works, but by wearing Khepri's Horn and popping a barricade next to the capture points, players were able to get 80 points in 1 second while capturing zones, and essentially instantly win Iron Banner matches. And that was pretty wild, so Bungie said, due to an issue, the Khepri's Horn exotic Titan helmet has been disabled in all activities. But even after doing that, players that actually had the exotic equipped were still able to use it despite the fact that it had been disabled, so it didn't automatically unequip it from characters, meaning the fix only partially worked, and some players were still able to exploit it. And so up next, Bungie Help said, the game type for Iron Banner has changed from Control to Eruption. And I guess that was the ultimate fix, to change the game mode so that the exploit in general no longer works on those control points. So things got pretty interesting in the Iron Banner in the last few hours, and let us know if you had any experience with that down in the comment section. Next though, following the update that we had on Thursday, a couple of things to clarify. Initially, it appears that the exotic focusing fix didn't fix much. And so firstly, there are still complaints about getting low stat rolls for the exotic drops, but on top of that, it is worth reiterating that the focusing selections aren't actually represented in the exotic that gets dropped. So even if you're focusing for a Forsaken exotic, at the moment players are still only getting exotic drops from vanilla D2 as far as I know. So Bungie's fix for that is also to disable it. And they said this is an issue with exotic focusing not granting the intended rewards, and advanced decryption focusing has been disabled until a fix can be implemented. Although they say precision decryption focusing will continue to be available while we investigate a solution. Hopefully they'll get a fix for that soon because it's been buggy since the launch of the season. All being well though, hopefully we'll get hotfixes for those issues shortly. In addition to that, there is a cheese in the Ghost of the Deep dungeon, where players can use Wither Horde to farm an encounter. That cheese is still working, so we possibly have a bit of time before Bungie put a fix in place for that. And finally, Bungie also reduced the weapon swap delay from 2 seconds to 1 second. And of course that was designed to stop weapons sharing each other's damage bonuses and things like that. But unfortunately for Bungie, reducing that back to 1 second appears to allow Fourth Horseman once again to be able to take advantage of that weapon swap damage bonus. And so I think Bungie are going to have to find a different solution to that problem. Not sure what it will be, but share your thoughts down below. Here though, I wanted to talk about a few changes that we're going to see in Season 22 and beyond. It's interesting to go over these now that we've got our heads around some of the changes for Season of the Deep. And so firstly, Bungie have said they're looking to add a new weapon mod that will increase the level of a crafted or enhanced weapon for the cost of standard currencies in the game, and it's designed to be a convenient method for unlocking early perk choices, as well as potentially spending any spare currencies we've got stockpiled. And that's in addition to things like deep sight activation that we got this season, so it's going to happen at some point during Year 6, and it could be as early as next season. Also for Season 22, we know that we're going to get a new Vex network map, and so Crucible will finally see a new PvP map, but Bungie also plan to bring back the Citadel map on Dreaming City during Season 23, which will be immediately before the final shape. They've also said in general, they want to make some targeted changes to ritual content based on what they've observed about why players engage with it. But over time, they want to start pushing both more rewards to ritual content and more ways to engage with it, and that'll include changes like no longer asking players to earn all 3 of the ritual pursuit ornaments in seasonal challenges, and to allow players to earn more rewards and complete more of their weekly challenges by playing the content of their choice. So there could be some overall quality of life adjustments coming down the road. But they add this rebalancing of objectives and rewards is going to be a slow burn over the year of Lightfall. We are going to take a more direct approach in our last season of the year, and they plan to dedicate a significant amount of development time towards a more core ritual focused season. And interestingly, they say while this season will have plenty of new activity and story content, we want to take this time right before the final shape to crisp up our core rituals and pursuits as we head into the final expansion of the Light and Darkness saga. And it's interesting that they contrast new activity and story content with core rituals and pursuits. I guess we'll find out. But of course, in Season 22, we're also going to get the exotic mission rotator. So that'll be a new playlist that features different exotic missions each week, including Presage, Vox Obscura, and Operation Seraph Shield, and presumably there will be relevant rewards that we can pick up from those. But of course, beyond that, we will get Fireteam Finder, the in-game LFG, and that will launch alongside Season 23. We are of course going to get a reprised raid for Season 22 though. That certainly will be interesting. I'm very hopeful that we'll see Wrath of the Machine from D1. There's a new rumour recently that suggests Bungie could reprise. I guess a spoiler alert is necessary, although I can't really validate this and it may not mean anything, but some folks on Reddit have suggested that Scourge of the Past could be reprised instead, and that's based on some data that was changed in the game for that specific activity. But take that with a big pinch of salt. And I know of course many players would certainly prefer to see Wrath of the Machine, but let's just wait for Bungie on that one. Before all of that though, of course, this season we'll have Grandmasters coming into play. No doubt there'll be a couple of other items from the core season content for Season of the Deep. And we will of course have Solstice of Heroes, which, as we spoke about recently, looks like it'll still feature the something new hand cannon that we got last year, but also a new event weapon. This was listed on LightGG as a Strand Precision Frame rocket launcher. For the moment though, that is literally all we know about it, as most of the data for it hasn't been shown. But as always, that stuff I will keep you posted on, and for today that's what we have to speak about, so a bit of a mixture of news, as well as a few recaps there, so I hope you've enjoyed it nonetheless, and if you have, a rating below really does help us out. Once again, let us know your thoughts or expectations for content in the rest of the year. And otherwise, for today, I appreciate you guys tuning in, and I'll catch you all very soon.
Remind them we're not in danger. We are the danger.